network of awareness makes your brain coherent. One of the fastest growing podcasts. You can hear it 24/7. We got listeners out in London, informationalists in Paris. The echo spreading out, no parrot. Just dissect, digest, and share it. The righteous rhymes hit the spirit. Click 90 times, it won't perish. Cause y'all's the mind ain't no fairy tale like the belly our parents. It's time to rise, don't get wary. United minds, it's apparent. Download every single errand, but most ain't fit to catch it, even if they were Larry. Interviews, the interludes, they enter you, taking you on a journey like no other. It places you in a state of awareness. It's your fault if you hate the truth, cause Yahweh been Yahweh's on his way, my brother. Better change your views. All praise, yeah.
Hello, positive people. You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, giving you in-depth information on society and culture in America and abroad, with messages of inspiration, with keen insights, reputable interviews, and much more. So now, without further ado, your host of the Network of Awareness podcast, Aura, the informationalist.
Peace and greetings, folks. This is Aura the Informationalist, and welcome to the Network of Awareness podcast radio show. And we have Faith Over Fear Friday is today's theme, as usual, on live broadcast, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. And we're doing it well tonight. And we have a lot to discuss tonight because fear, as I've said before, is a hell of a drug. So I decided to do a second installment to Fear is the Dark Room where negatives are developed. Now, I made it a little bit shorter just for the sake of the title, because you're not really supposed to put big titles into your podcast, but I had to do a part 2, so I try to minimize the R, so it's negatives developed, but you get the drift. And this is part 2. So brothers and sisters, it is so easy to get caught up in fear. We all experience it. But what good does that do us? It only grows more powerful as time goes by. And we can't see any light at the end of the tunnel. But there is hope. Because when the Most High is on your side, nothing can stop you from moving forward towards achieving goals, regardless how big they may seem now. And right now, in the present, we have this live broadcast, which is season 4, episode 25 of the Network of Awareness. And I want to welcome everybody for Faith Over Fear Fridays. It's going to be a banger. So, with that being said, let's start off with some music like we always do on Faith Over Fear Fridays. And we're going to do it well. And here we go.
Listening to that, for one chance, just one chance, to come back
Becky,
here
that's a banger.
and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom.
Sometimes I get emotional. My whole life is on a Ferris wheel, and it's going round and around. They don't know how many times I done cried. They don't know. I'm just saying, y'all. $600 is what they give us. Ooh-wee. I'm just saying, how many times I'm on the side of the road trying to catch my breath. Feel me? I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying, you may think I'm in my feelings. I'm not in my feelings. I just need healing. I don't wanna self-destruct. I don't wanna crash. I don't wanna find myself dead later. You get a splash when they hit the surface. Only when teardrops fall. Only when they fall. I've been writing all day long. A humble man I am. With penmanship. A pen of pain. I'm just saying. I'm not in my feeling. I'm just saying. Sometimes I get emotional. My whole life is on a Ferris wheel, and it's going round and around. They don't know how many times I done cried. They don't know. I'm just saying, y'all. $600 is what they give us. Ooh-wee. I'm just saying, how many times I'm on the side of the road trying to catch my breath. Feel me? I'm just saying, y'all. I had to go to probate court. I had 3 accounts against me. When the judge called my name, she read out only 1 account. I was shocked at the same time. I wanna let you know, Yahya Elohim is the real deal. It ain't a problem he can't solve. He the one that gon' have your back, and he also will make sure you wanna stand there. I'm just saying, I'm not in my feeling. I'm just saying. Sometimes I get emotional. My whole life is on a Ferris wheel, and it's going round and around. They don't know how many times I done cried. They don't know. I'm just saying, y'all. $600 is what they give us. Ooh-wee. I'm just saying, how many times I'm on the side of the road trying to catch my breath. Feel me? I'm just saying, y'all.
You are now tuned in to the network of awareness.
All right, welcome. So, today's Faith Over Fear Friday. So I think this is a really good topic in regards to how fear is basically the dark room where negatives are developed, just like in film. One thing that I know about fear is that it comes in many different forms. And what I also know about fear is that it can sneak up on you and kind of remind you that it's been there the whole time, even though you've been playing yourself thinking that it's not, or convincing yourself that it's not. And then it has a way of sprouting up in a moment's notice through a series of events or one event. And next thing you know, you're afraid. And that fear comes in many different levels. And a lot of times when it does come, sometimes it's a fear that frustrates and brings you to anger. And then that anger brings you to confusion. And then fear overcomes and subdues and cripples and distorts, rearranges, changes course in your life. And it's important to have the Most High, our great creator, Yahweh Elohim, on your side and really doing what you're supposed to be doing to maintain a bond and an understanding. And then you can change or overcome the fear with the faith, with the hope, and then move forward as you should. But sometimes it doesn't always happen like that. And sometimes fear can really change things forever. It's important to understand fear and have respect for it, but at the same time, be able to deal with it in a way where you're no longer afraid. And that even when it does come, you condition yourself to the point where you get stronger because your experience with it has helped you to endure some of the fear from the past. And so now you're strengthened, you're more aware, and you have better knowledge and wisdom on how to deal with it. But it's always there, brothers and sisters, it's always there. No matter how much you convince yourself that it's not, it is. I think it's important we understand this because I'm going to do some Smoke and Mirrors media segments today. And, we're going to talk about how the media is always doing things to make people fearful. That's the whole shock treatment of what commercial media in the United Serpents of America does. It's all about fear. It's all about bringing you to a lower level. I can tell you that I've also come to the realization within my own experiences of life that fear is something that it's like if you don't know how to manage, overcome, and utilize it to your advantage, it is going to ruin you. It's the very reason why many of us have made bad decisions in the past 2.5 years is out of fear. And unfortunately, some of those decisions, or should I say most of those decisions that were made, have been of great consequence. And the ultimate consequence is death of the decisions that were made. So, how do you deal with fear? How do you manage it? How do you overcome it? It's a lot of different ways. There's no one way. But at the end of the day, there is one nucleus to it all, and it has to deal with your faith. And it has to deal with having a better understanding of the higher power that guides things throughout this multitude of universes. Fear is a hell of a drug, people. And right now, there's a lot of people afraid of America going down the drain. Now, it's quite obvious that many of my supporters on this network, and those of you that know of this network, you know that we don't really give a rat's ass about America. So we really can give two shits whether it falls or not. But there's many people that still covet and love this place and think it's the best thing since sliced bread. But those that are aware and are very fearful of a power structure, demonic empire falling. And that fear is compelling them to want to make moves out of desperation and paranoia and insecurity. And it's interesting how those three things are very prominent and very prevalent, is the word I wanted to say, very prevalent in how fear works its way like a machine or like a power plant or like some type of an assembly line. And now that I'm discussing that, I'm definitely going to put together a video showing how fear is assembled to be strengthened on an assembly line. I might even do that with my cartoon software. But those three things, along with others, are very low types of vibrations of thought and emotions that really give fear a lot of strength. And then it winds up overcoming you. And I got to be honest, man, I've seen all types of fear, man. I've seen fear where people know that something good is coming to them and they're about to receive those gifts. And then for some reason, as they get closer to receiving those gifts, they start to change out of fear. And they start to do things that are somewhat out of whack, out of order, amplified. Sometimes it's also expressed in people doing things out of anger, and that anger and however it's utilized can change a whole entire situation that the person is fearful of to not actually go and work out for them. And what I mean by that, many of people have done it. Maybe some of you have done it. They're listening to the show. Maybe you know somebody, but many of us have made these decisions where we know something good is coming. We've planned for it. We've put in the time, the energy, and we know it's going to be good. And because we know it's going to be so good or so great and so awesome and so wonderful, the closer we get that we know we're going to get it, fear winds up manipulating you subconsciously because it does it like on a real sneaky way where it has a way of just going through the cracks, kind of like how the nanotechnology works through breaking through the barrier of the immune system and working around it or through it or whatever. It's the same thing how it works. And then once it gets there, it changes everything because now that anger out of fear is going to have you to respond in a certain way. And depending on how you react and respond to it, it might take the opportunity that you knew was going to be awesome. You knew it was going to be great. And then it just dissipates. It doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't happen for you. And I'm here to tell you, brothers and sisters, don't allow that to happen to you, because at the end of the day, if you maintain your faith, then that which is great will be your fate. Let's take another intermission. I'm going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to play different songs as I go through this episode. You're listening to episode 25. Fear is the dark room where negatives are developed. Let's go.
I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way another nigga talk.
Just tell me what's happening to me in plain English without the mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. I can't help, I'm chosen. I can't help, I'm chosen.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
Try to tear me down, but I built it up, yeah. They can't stop me now. Keep on going up, yeah. Can't control me now. Yeah, I make a mess, so they can slow me down. Vibration higher now. Try to tear me down, but I built it up, yeah. They can't stop me now. Keep on going up, yeah. Can't control me now. Yeah, I make a mess, so they can slow me down. Vibration higher now. I can't help that I've been chosen by Yah, or that I'm too blunt for them. But they'll never get it because they blind. I envision all the shit from Genesis, meaning the beginning took them losses and now we winning, yeah. Feel that shit around the corner, everything is energy. Got to keep your third eye open, never sleep. Bitch, I'm me. You don't like it, you can leave. Ain't support, made them believe. Yeah, this shit just start with me. Got the chi inside of me. Cut the toxicity. Now we living free. Got the condo by the sea. So my son can see how far his dreams will take them. Just believe. Anyone leaving the team, free agents they will be. Praise the Yah, Barakatah. I can't help, I'm chosen. My heart been broken, but I'm growing and glowing. Try to tear me down, but I built it up, yeah. They can't stop me now. Keep on going up, yeah. Can't control me now. Yeah, I make a mess, so they can slow me down. Vibration higher now. Try to tear me down, but I built it up, yeah. They can't stop me now. Keep on going up, yeah. Can't control me now. Yeah, I make a mess, so they can slow me down. Vibration higher now. Don't ever compromise who you truly are to please other people. Always be yourself and stand in your truth. Just always be you. Yeah. I can't help, I'm chosen. 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 My heart been broken, but I'm growing and glowing. Try to tear me down, but I built it up, yeah. They can't stop me now. Keep on going up, yeah. Can't control me now. Yeah, I make a mess, so they can slow me down. Vibration higher now. Try to tear me down, but I built it up, yeah. They can't stop me now. Keep on going up, yeah. Can't control me now. Yeah, I make a mess, so they can slow me down. Vibration higher now.
I'm a little concerned right now about your salvation and stuff. How come you have not been baptized?
Because I never got around to it, okay? I don't know why you always have to be judging me. Because I only believe in science. I 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 believe in science.
Yes, when it comes to the network of awareness, we're about righteously preparing and bringing awareness socially, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. We have to reveal the truth to better understand what the lie is. And we won't know what the truth is and how absolute it is until we understand what the lie is and bring it out up to the surface. So when it comes to the network of awareness, knowing the truth and recognizing its presence is essential to our awareness of the world we are born on and come to know. The truth is, the world is not as perfect as we are inclined and led to believe. To find the absolute truth these days takes purposeful, intentional work. There is a lot of misinformation out on the web, and it can be hard to sort through all of it to find the truth we desire. But the network of awareness offers a unique opportunity for critical thinkers and those with common sense who want to dig deeper into the next level of those truths and lies. Presently, the world corruption has seeped into almost every aspect of our lives. The world can be such an uncertain place, surrounded by advertisements that induce overwhelming anxieties and insecurities within the minds of the masses. Our manipulated, sugar-coated society is formed and engineered by a powerful legacy of lies. And the information that we need to make informed, conscious decisions are often held purposefully. There is a lot of secrecy and confusion within our current society and cultures. That is because the number of lies and misinformation spread all over the internet and television has led people astray from their true selves, from the Most High's way. People today, from their opinions and ways of living through tainted status quo narratives propagated through commercial media and romper room politics. As a consequence, humanity's perceptions are altered and socially compromised in a multitude of ways. Our taught and learned behavior has conditioned our minds since birth, only to limit our senses to awareness. Knowing, understanding, and living in this truth will give us a clear and unconditioned awareness of the world we live in, which will inevitably help us accurately discern right from wrong and improve our ability to know ourselves. So, brothers and sisters, you are welcome to join the network of awareness on the never-ending quest to salvation for absolute truth and understanding. All praise to the Most High. Let's go.
You are now tuned in to the network of awareness.
How you doing?
So when it comes to fear, it's a hell of a drug. And like I mentioned, I wanted to cover Smoke and Mirrors Media segment. So let's do that right now and get into it. It's something I haven't done in a while, brothers and sisters. So I think you're going to enjoy this part of the show. Now, the first clip I'm going to cover is the one about the recession that is not inevitable. So they're basically trying to give people hope that there's not going to be a recession. But we all know that with the Agenda 21 propaganda movement, that the agenda is for a one world economic system. So eventually the Americas have to fall, because you can't have a one world economic system if you have one that has its own, right? Common sense stuff. But let's hear what the latest, greatest propaganda pimps have to say about it.
One day after the Fed's big interest rate hike, an about face on Wall Street today. The Dow losing 741 points. The S&P and NASDAQ also down. Tom Costello was watching it all, and a development that could affect your summer vacation. Tom, what's behind the sell-off today?
A real concern that the economy may be in a recession already, or certainly headed for one, although President Biden says he does not think a recession is inevitable. We saw market debate today. Did the Fed do enough or not enough? In the meantime, the transportation secretary met with airline execs today, and he said he does not want to see a repeat of the mess we saw at airports over Memorial Day. With as many as 2.3 million passengers flying every day this summer, now approaching 2019 levels, the airlines are under pressure to avoid a July 4th repeat of the Memorial Day meltdown when 2,700 flights were canceled nationwide.
Hopefully people just kind of get there with no more complications, no more delays.
Late today, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg gathered airline CEOs in a virtual meeting, asking for assurances that the rest of the summer vacation season will go smoothly.
I let them know that, this is a moment when we were really counting on them to deliver reliably for the traveling public. Look, there's a lot of pent-up demand out there.
Among the biggest choke points, Florida. Passenger traffic has surged more than 100% over pre-pandemic levels at virtually every airport in the state. Sarasota up 133%, Miami up 113%, Tampa up 105%. Increased military and space flights have further restricted airspace, just as virtually every airline trims its schedules or parks planes due to a shortage of pilots. Today, Delta's pilots...
And bingo was his name, oh. Okay, you heard what they said. Due to the shortage of pilots. Well, brothers and sisters, why is there a shortage of pilots? Matter of fact, the better question is, why is there a shortage of pilots 2.5, almost 3 years going on? Or not, I shouldn't say 2.5, because it's actually been less than that. But since the pandemic, but ever since the science appliance was introduced to the world, all of a sudden, there's a shortage of pilots. Not a coincidence, people. More of a coincidence. That's a major problem. But it's not just going to be affecting the airline industry as it is presently. It's going to be affecting the world sooner than you think.
Union, in contract talks, issued an open letter to customers acknowledging a rough start to vacation season, saying, "We empathize and share in your frustration over the delays, cancellations, and disrupted travel plans you've experienced." The union says pilots are exhausted from working overtime and are now calling out.
Pilots are saying, "Hey, I'm tired. I've done enough, and I'm going to make that tough call." It's a tough call.
Delta tells NBC News we can.
So there's a lot of factors that are playing into this. Fact of the matter is there's a lot of inflation, people. So I don't think a lot of people are going to have the type of summers that they used to recreationally. But also, the fact that travel in this state has increased dramatically is a testament to how several states in the South operate when it comes to COVID-19. Furthermore, when it comes to this particular situation with the pilots, of course you're going to have pilots being exhausted because of the limited staff. It's a problem. It's the same thing with the stewardesses. People, I'm telling you, and we cannot forget this. We have to always make this in the forefront of our conversations and understanding that this is spiritual warfare. Ever since that science appliance was introduced to humanity, do you understand that there are people walking around amongst you that have alien DNA within their bloodstream? This is some real spiritual warfare, people. And it's going to get worse, because forget about that adverse reactions for a second. Forget about all that. There's going to be some other type of reaction, and it's going to be on some supernatural next level stuff, and the way it's going to happen. And a lot of people think that this stuff is fake and not real, but these are all signs, like I said yesterday, of America's demise. And when it comes to this travel, yeah, there's certain people still traveling, but not like before, people. Not like before. And let's just keep it real. Most of the people that are traveling throughout America like this are typically at the higher percentage of the Caucasian descent. Not to say that any other types of people are traveling like that, which that's obvious. But it's just primarily people in America that have the type of money to go on vacation. Because I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people, especially families, don't got it like that because of all of the shenanigans that have happened just in the past 2.5 years. You know, a lot of people have lost their jobs, and a lot of people are not around anymore. Plain and simple. And it's interesting because even when I start referencing these types of things, I already know that the algorithms and the popping sounds that I hear and the little low frequencies, I already know it's like they got it pegged. But I do the best I can, people, when I say this stuff cryptically, until I go onto the TV, then, there won't be no cryptic language. It'll be very direct. But I might stick with the science appliance, to be honest with you. But back to the topic at hand, people. There's not a lot of pilots because of that. There's a lot of people that are exhausted, and there's a lot of people that are focusing on things that matter instead of things that are more for luxury and fun. People are starting to take what's going on in the world a lot more seriously, but obviously there's going to be way more people that don't, right? But we can't concern ourselves with those people, just like I can't concern myself with who doesn't want to listen to the message. It's those that want to hear it will, and those that don't won't. Let's continue.
Continuously evaluate our staffing models and plan ahead so that we can recover quickly when unforeseen circumstances arise. Meanwhile, sources say the FAA is adding 30 air traffic controllers to Jacksonville to help relieve staffing issues at a critical choke point. Lester?
Tom Costello, thank you. Tonight, more dangerous heat and other severe weather in much of the eastern half of the country, while President Biden declared a major disaster in Montana after that devastating flooding in Yellowstone National Park. Here's Miguel Almaguer.
Tonight. Okay, so they had a flood. I didn't want to cover that story, but it was pretty huge. I saw some of the pictures on it, and we're going to skip that. There's another segment I want to cover. Now, this is what's happening in America. It's been happening quite some time, but it's really gotten out of hand in the last couple of years. Real estate has really taken a lot of twists and turns in the way it's been producing revenue. And now, in this particular segment, it's going to talk about how major corporations are now starting to buy big segments of land and owning it and managing it remotely. And they're managing major sections of property. So let's hear what they have to say about it. And I think that this interview with this man, pay attention to when they talk about the American dream and how he responds to that question.
To scenario squeezing Americans in many areas, including Indiana. Antonia Hilton.
All right. So let this commercial play out, and we'll bring it right back. Here we go.
Reports in our series, Priced Out.
For years, John and Angie Collier saved.
Oh, this is nice.
Eager to buy a first home in Fishers, Indiana, attracted by the good schools and proximity to work. But pursuing the American dream has proved daunting.
Oh, sorry, outbid.
Now, before we continue, brothers and sisters, there is no American dream. It's always been a nightmare, and it's always been one of delusion. It's always been of an illusion. There is no American dream, brothers and sisters. Shout outs to all my peoples that live outside the United States. There is no American dream. So if you come here, don't expect to achieve one, because there is no dream. Never has been. This place is under total control, total manipulation at all times. And this place will have their hand in your pocket in a gabillion ways. So the more money, that's why they say the more money you make, the more problems. But let's continue.
Fishers, named by Money Magazine one of the best places to live, is part of a national trend as real estate investment groups buy up houses in cash and rent them out, in some cases, to the very families who dreamed of owning them. In January, 33% of all homes purchased in the U.S. were bought by investors, often Wall Street-backed companies with multi-billion-dollar funds. The Colliers currently rent in a town near Fishers from one of the nation's biggest house rental companies. Their rent recently raised 8%.
Good to see you. Come on in.
4 times in recent weeks, they've been outbid by investors with all-cash offers.
It can be, discouraging when you get overbid by, companies.
How do you...
Now, you see, people, this is going on all over the world. This is going on all over the United States and parts of the world as well, but all over the United States, in all 50 states. It's happening here. And I wanted to cover this because I think it's very important for you to know that if you do decide to rent, be very careful on who you rent from, because these corporations, they don't care. Like, it's not like having a landlord, a real landlord, or a good one. And they're going to talk about that. But what it also does is that it X's you out of the equation. Because like she talks about, it's like, how do you go against the bidding of a major corporation that wants to buy the land? You know what I mean? It's you're going to lose every single time. And it's set up that way. But it's also revealing what's to come when it comes to real estate, because you're going to start to see more corporatocracy being the culture of how all businesses run, and we are going to become peasants that are going to have to basically be regulated by everything that they own. And this is a prime example. And the crazy part, like they're going to discuss, is that they're overcharging, just like a lot of places around the United States. They're overcharging for houses to rent and for apartments to rent. It makes no sense. It's some mumbo jumbo, made up, inflated price increases for no fucking reason but straight greed and manipulation, and the alterations and the manufacturing of taking corporate and taking this corporatocracy corporation called America and really turning it into a one centralized corporation that's part of a one world web system. These are just the signs that are showing that it's all happening in real time in our time. And it's getting accelerated because these rent increases are crazy. And then the prices that they're selling home are being marked up by like 300%. It don't make no sense, man. But yet it does, right? So let's continue.
Save when you're spending $2,200 a month just to rent.
So these companies have you on both ends.
Yeah, it's definitely a conundrum.
In some Fishers neighborhoods, investors own more than half of the homes, according to realtor Laura Turner.
This is one of the neighborhoods that investors have really targeted. They're coming in, they're buying it at cash, and then they're going to hold them as rentals.
Fisher's mayor, Scott Fadness, is frustrated by the surge of distant, faceless landlords. Have you been able to talk to any of these companies?
It's very difficult. So take, for instance, if you have a high grass and weed issue, a code enforcement issue. I mean, if they own 4,000 homes, who is the individual that you can go talk to about a specific problem?
In a statement, the National Rental Home Council said NRHC member companies own just a fraction of the homes throughout the state of Indiana, and that its 5 largest member companies maintain an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. Builder Steve Lanes argues rental companies aren't taking away possibilities from families, but in many cases, creating them.
There are a segment of people who are no longer able to buy a home because they can't afford that home, but they don't want to be in an apartment. They're looking for those opportunities to rent in those communities.
After getting outbid time and again, the Colliers say they've given up on Fishers.
Is the American dream still accessible?
I think the American dream is changing.
Let's go. Enough said.
Society may be going in that direction where we are getting further away from ownership, but I don't think it's the right direction.
I love the screened-in porch.
And he makes a valid point. As they're pushing the home buyers of America away out of having ownership, and then the corporatocracy has ownership, what does that do to the society? What does it do to the country? So this is all the signs of the demise, and this is all to create a lot of fear. And to a certain degree, brothers and sisters, that fear better trigger some type of response from you, because let's be honest here, this is war. This is war. And this is the whole entire infrastructure of America being rearranged by deranged demons. And they're all over this place, manipulating and all that. And a lot of them sit in those nice leather chairs in the Congress and in the Senate and all over the White House and everywhere else. So one of the reasons why I like doing these segments and covering them is because this is stuff that's happening in real time, and we need to be aware. We need to be aware of this, especially in the way we're moving. Because there's some of us that are moving, right? There's people that want to live certain places. They have to understand that you got to choose wisely, because there's a lot of places that ain't worth the type of money that they're charging. And that is becoming increasingly a big, big national problem right now. So let's continue real quick. And they settled for something else. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is, but they were still
They put in a bid on a home in a town farther out. Their American dream modified, not broken. Antonia Hilton, NBC News.
Listen, the American dream is not modified. Okay, they didn't modify it. They just made the better choice and got something that was probably more affordable and decent. And that's probably what they should have did anyway. Maybe that was a sign for them by the Most High to not, go move to that area. Because not all of those nice neighborhoods that they say that there's no crime are always nice, right? And I know, brothers and sisters, we've seen countless videos of ritzy areas, having problems with its residents and neighbors. So that's pretty much it for the news segments, for the commercial media. So let's take another intermission, and then I'm going to come back and we'll talk more about episode 25. And that is Fear is the Dark Room Where Negatives Are Developed. Part 2. Let's go, brothers and sisters.
If I'm not mistaken, it was
you see something. Now you see now. You done fucked up. You done fucked up.
I see.
homie.
That's why I keep the 9 on me.
Yeah, you know I got the 9 on me.
This word is for the wise, either ride or you gon' die. It's the blind leading the blind. We've been fighting for our rights, now we fighting for our life. Still no light I see inside, but I see the light inside. I'm pray I don't go out my mind. I got a 9 in my hand and a couple of bullets. All I need is a reason for me to load it and pull it. There goes one in the shoulder, another one in the leg. Gotta finish the job and put another one in his head. I was told it's him or me, I'ma live to see another day. Killer do the killing, I don't see it any other way. People do the talking, I don't care what motherfuckers say. Keep your social distance or you getting blown the fuck away. No more Mr. Nice Guy, I gotta be the bad boy. I'm on high alert, I got all of you niggas paranoid. I'm way too much at peace for you to ever bother mine. That's the bottom line, cause we all live in them all time. The 9 on me.
Yeah, you know I got the 9 on me.
It's time to ride or die, homie.
Yeah, it's time to ride or die, homie.
Man, this how we survive, homie.
Yeah, this how we survive, homie.
That's why I keep the 9 on me.
You are now tuned in to the network of elites.
Die till I die, homie. I leave a nigga paralyzed, homie. What you know about the 9 on me? With that 45, feel like plies, homie. I look up at the sky like I'm the guy, homie. Got him grinding off the muscle you supply for me. What you know about your bestie trying to ride on you? I ain't never tell, bitch, I define loyal. That type of upper shit just make my blood boil you. How you hate me after all the shit I done for you? Now I'm forced to get my head right, but that's kinda hard with you to dodge death twice. Respect life, but this ain't a show, I'm dead nice. I'm the one that could bring us to the next fight. Shed light over everything, bet I'm the one with a gun, it's a tech bite. Blah.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
Like left, right, left, right. Y'all keep these obstacles off my track. Y'all keep these spirits up off my back. Like day, night, day, night. I pray I walk where your favor shine. I pray the righteousness fill my mind. Gotta see through the spirit when I follow y'all. Gotta speak through the spirit when I talk to y'all. You ain't gotta ask what offends me, cause it's the same things that offend y'all. You already know who I roll with. You already know who my soul with. It's a spirit tell me to help kids. You already know where my dough went.
Pick a side, pick it wise. You can shoot for the light or the piece of pie. Y'all's the only way to go. Many times I've cried to the Most High, yeah. Cause who am I to be a vessel for the Almighty? I could have been dead, but instead He chose something better for you and I. That's why I keep my head up to the sky and pay homage to the throne and the Lamb sitting to His right.
Left, right, left, right. Y'all keep these obstacles off my track. Y'all keep these spirits up off my back. Like day, night, day, night. I pray I walk where your favor shine. I pray the righteousness fill my mind. Like, which way you gonna go? Go left, right? Will you stay in the darkness or choose light? Go left, then you come back and go right.
Left, right, when the light has hey, you better pick a side, cause right now ain't the time to be faking ya. Time is not for the Lamb to arrive. And when He does, tell me where will you hide? You can't hide. It's your choice, it's your life. You can choose left or to go right. No matter what, I'm gonna choose ya. It's your choice, it's your life. You can choose to go left or to go right. But no matter what, I still serve ya.
Like left, right. Y'all keep these obstacles off my track. Y'all keep these spirits up off my back. Like day, night, day, night. I pray I walk where your favor shine. I pray the righteousness fill my mind.
When the light has faded and darkness is abroad, the light is only dim because the darkness teaches us lessons that need to be learned in order for one to move forward. Embrace the darkness, for the darkness is your friend. So there is no end. It's only an illusion to what has been. Follow the light and let the spirit embark on a flight to a destination unknown, but to a place where love is the building blocks that call this place home. We are always accompanied on this journey, but still feel alone. It is never the same journey or experience that is ever shown. It is your imagination that awakens the passion that will weather the storm, because it is the pure compassion in the soul that is vigorous and strong. We're one with eternity, so let's be connected to the positive stream that allows us to fulfill our infinite destiny, most definitely. Let's strive to be the best people we can be with a power that is humanly new to see. So mistaken dismay can lead us astray, so let us stay, for it is our free will that allows us to make a choice. So I choose Yahweh with no delay.
Know you're listening to the one and only Oxakai. Yeah, Marquise, or we about to hit him with something they ain't heard before. Let's go. Let me talk my shit. The truth is the truth, no matter how you accept it. I'm a Hebrew king that Babylon has rejected. Morals and soul intact, never neglected. Fuck these rap industry niggas, yeah I said it. I'm stuck when I'm stuck with, cause I don't suck dick, I don't sell brick, it is what it is. The Most High blessed me with this gift just to spit and lyrically call you fake rappers on your shit. Blow for blow, let them know I'm ready to go. The difference between me and them, I still have my soul. Why sell it for a season when you promise tenfold? But niggas will be niggas, ain't that right, Momo? The truth is the truth, no matter how you accept it. There isn't like blood that's coded in my genetics. Bar for bar, so you can feel my kinetics. I know my purpose and my mission, intercepted, intercepted.
Babylon has did everything to try to keep it from me. They don't wanna see me grow with the truth. Don't want me. The truth is the truth. I know my purpose now. Now I'm on a mission. Babylon has did everything to try to keep it from me. They don't wanna see me grow with the truth. Don't want me. The truth is the truth. I know my purpose now. Now I'm on a mission.
In the age of low wages and raging races, haters are mad faces that haven't been awakened. Chasing oasis to be rich and famous. Abrasive vibrations can be real contagious. We all vagrants in a wasted matrix. So basic sensations have reached the apex. Time to give the hopeless a conscious facelift. In stages and phases of inspiration. So don't say shit, it's just confirmation. I'm giving directions to misguided strangers. So do yourself a favor, stop spilling blood on the paper. One with the creator, we don't waver from no danger. This purpose with no caution, no hope in slow motion. A lot of painful emotions got me feeling explosive. But I maintain from implosion and stay away from commotions and stick to the slogan to be chosen.
Babylon has did everything to try to keep it from me. They don't wanna see me grow with the truth. Don't want me. The truth is the truth. I know my purpose now. Now I'm on a mission. Babylon has did everything to try to keep it from me. They don't wanna see me grow with the truth. Don't want me. The truth is the truth. I know my purpose now. Now I'm on a mission.
Tuned in to the network of awareness.
I hardly ever say much, but they do whatever I say. Yeah. Every time I pull up in the driveway, she be like, oh my Yahweh. I hardly ever say much, but they do whatever I say. Every time I pull up in the driveway, she be like, oh my Yahweh, hopscotch on your planet. Why you all up in my space? I hardly ever say much, but they do whatever I say. Yeah. Every time I pull up in the driveway, she be like, oh my Yahweh, hopscotch on your planet. Why you all up in my space? All these battles that I face, which I go proceed at a high rate. I watch them migrate and hide, cause when I rap I really hydrate. Catch a wave while you thugging out. And God is a woman, she love me wow. Make you spark your inner Noah's Ark. I got a flow that will flood your house. Every day is celebration. She roll it up, no hesitation. Sativa, I got from Shiva. Guarantee infinite elevation. There is love in the air. Release a ether, watch it linger. Middle fingers in the air. If you got a middle finger, I had to let go of the past, cause I crave a better future. Now my homegirl got an ass, and she meditate like she Buddha. She got the sauce like picante. We got the sauce like BBQ. We got the sauce like tomatoes. Escape from hell like I'm Kratos. I hardly ever say much, but they do whatever I say. Every time I pull up in the driveway, she be like, oh my Yahweh, hopscotch on your planet. Why you all up in my space? All these battles that I face, she Fetty Wap, she come my way. She swerved for me on the highway. I'm higher than life and God's ways. I'm trying to live, you a zombie. I pay my bills like I'm Cosby. I grind, kick, flippin' ollie. They witness how I be so gnarly. Back to the future,
like Marty. You're a slacker, McFly. My flow will approach your MK Ultra. I'm hacking your mind. Just let me be, or be left behind. Better climb your ladder. My flow antimatter. Vibrate through your spine.
to last forever. Even when the light is dim, the sun finds a way to shine again. Things are getting ugly, things are getting cold, but I know it's best to stay in my zone, and I can't stop.
Arms on, legs on, chest on, heads on,
everybody up in the chat room. I see y'all. Yes, we got Out the Line Jay in the house. Mr. Webb, Brother Mauricio. We got Brother Cook. Let's go. We got the brothers in the house tonight. Let's do this brothership tonight. Faith Over Fear Fridays. Let's go. Oh, I can't forget my sister Danita. My bad, sister.
peace and love right now. Why, oh? I ain't playing about it. I need my money right now. I don't care about that shit, but the hunters give me power to change the world. I'm coming for the man's throat. We killing Mother Earth, yo, it ain't a fucking joke. Turn your TV off, read the book, stupid. Get your mind right, if we unite, we could do this. I was born to ride for the cause, wildin' out in my drawers, bad it, fuck the laws, they corrupt. I do my own dance, to my own drum, sing my own song. I ain't heard nothing real in so long. God soldier, yo, your time's over, mobbing with my posse, overthrow ya. Power to the people, love conquers all, kill what's evil. It's like 1, 2, 3. I go by the name Death Free. Peace and love, that's how I rock. And you know know that we won't stop. Why, yo? 1, 2, 3. I'm for hope and equality. I can't believe that they done shot Nipsey. Too much violence, it must stop. Why, yo? No one's innocent, we all play a part. If we turn our heads, then we ain't pure of heart. Takes courage, baby, who's coming with me? Who's down to step up? Who's getting busy on the punk beats? Pick your fucking trash up. Ocean's dying, threw your damn cup out the window. Microplastics for the kiddos. More fire, more carbon. More liars in the government. Folks starving, folks tired. Who's riding? It's like 1, 2, 3. I go by the name Defeat. Peace and love, that's how I rock. And you know that we won't stop. Why, yo? 1, 2, 3. I'm for hope and equality. I can't believe that they done shot Nipsey. Too much violence, it must stop. Why, yo? We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love right now. Why, yo? We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love right now. Why, yo? Hey, yo, spread it. All that hatred got to dead it. If we don't come together, then we gon' regret it. Headed towards freedom with no break, no exit. The man's time is over. You can say I said it. Spread it. All that bullshit got to stop it. Fighting against each other, yo, that's what he always wanted. Robbing for the guys, for my guys. Get it on till I die. I'm a freedom ride. Change is gonna come. We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love right now. Why, yo? We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread.
Hey, you ain't gonna never know nothing about me.
Hey, listen. I ain't running any more of these 3 days, okay?
Well, what I got to say you really don't want to hear, because honesty ain't too high up on your people priority list, right?
Honesty? You want honesty? All right, honestly, I think you're nothing. Nothing but a pure waste of God-given talent. You don't listen to nobody, man. Not even Doc or Boone. Shiver push on the line every time, man. You blow right past them. Push them, pull them, do something. You can't run over everybody in this league. And every time you do, you leave one of your teammates hanging out to dry. Me in particular.
Why should I give a hoot about you? Huh? Or anybody else out there? You want to talk about a waste? You the captain, right?
Right.
Captain's supposed to be the leader, right?
Right.
You got a job?
I have a job.
You been doing your job?
I've been doing my job.
Then why don't you tell your white buddies to block for Rev better? Because they have not blocked for him worth a plug nickel, and you know it. Nobody plays, yourself included. I'm supposed to wear myself out for the team? What team? No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look out for myself, and I'm going to get mine.
See, man, that's the worst attitude I ever heard.
Attitude reflect leadership. Attitude reflect leadership.
Life is an unpredictable and amazing journey. Our ever-changing conditions within today's society and the constant new trends influencing cultures can become overwhelming, to say the least. But no worries. The Network of Awareness podcast radio show brings peace of mind in these challenging times. Follow us on your favorite podcast listening app and join our community of Network of Awareness at networkofawareness.com. Welcome back to the Network of Awareness, and this is episode 25. If you're coming on in, I see there's some new people in the chat room. This is Fear is the Dark Room where negatives are developed, part 2. And this is a serious topic because fear is a hell of a drug, and it has a way of confusing people. It has a way of manipulating situations. And fear has a way of bringing certain levels of toxicity into your life. And like I said before, it sneaks up on you. It makes you believe that it doesn't exist. And I believe that fear is the parent, I would say father to ego, Ego maybe being the sun, or maybe ego and fear are cousins. But fear is the stronger cousin. And the ego is pretty good, especially when it comes to manipulation. But both of them, when you think about it, they have a way of making you believe that they don't even exist. Kind of like how Satan or Lucifer or whatever you want to call him has convinced the world that he doesn't exist. It's all in people's heads. You know what I mean? And that's what fear does. It makes you believe that it doesn't exist. But even when you do know that it does exist, you try to convince yourself that it doesn't. And the best way to deal with the fear is to confront it and don't let it overcome you, but you overcome it. And the best way to do that, obviously, is through faith. Faith over fear Friday. And when I've said in the past about faith being a superpower, a supernatural power, I truly believe that, and I stand on that, and I stick by that, and I co-sign that. Because at the end of the day, everything is spiritual. So fear is just a manifestation of some type of lack or doubts. And a lot of times, fear is a conditioned thought because it comes from some type of an experience. It comes from some type of loss. Or it comes from some type of lack of self-awareness. And the best thing we can do is have faith in that which is going to work out for us, or certain situations you may be striving to pursue. Because when the Most High, like it says here in the description that I wrote, when the Most High is on your side, he can't stop you from moving forward towards achieving goals, regardless of how big they may seem now. And I'm embarking on, this is why this episode is, relevant to me, because I'm embarking on something pretty big that has been taking a lot of twists and turns, but a lot of it stems from fear. And I can honestly admit that, because even though I know it could be really great and phenomenal and wonderful and a great new opportunity, there's a lot of tension that I've developed in the process of it all, to where I can't allow the fear to overwhelm me and subdue me. And we all go through it, but we have that faith, and that's what gets me through. That's what helps me break through a lot of threshold in a lot of different things in my life. And I'm still trying to practice that with a lot of other things. And I got to tell you that I'm being challenged. But regardless of however I'm being challenged, I'm going to overcome whatever that obstacle or challenge is the best way I know how. And have faith that when with the Most High, ain't nothing can stop you. Because it's very easy to get caught up in fear. And fear is developed in many different ways. But the one that I focused on today is in the way where it makes you believe that it's not there until it just all of a sudden, in a moment's notice, creeps up on you. And then you start questioning yourself from that fear. Fear's a motherfucker, man. It's not a coincidence that the powers, and I call them powers because they have power and control through their methods of propaganda and programming and all that, to basically put us in such great states of fear that now, as long as they maintain that fear gravy train that's been chewing for a minute, especially in this country, we work against ourselves. We police ourselves and we destroy ourselves. And sometimes we even not only destroy ourselves, but destroy the self. And it's interesting that I say that because suicide is not something I like to talk about too much because it was a traumatic experience for me to go through that with a family member, as many of you know. But suicide is on the rise. The percentages of suicide, I don't have the numbers, but I do know that it's increased amongst young males and amongst young females. So a lot of this fear propaganda is really changing the whole entire culture in American society. And now that we've had this recent gun shooting at that church in Alabama, what did I say to y'all brothers and sisters? I said, yo, this thing's going to keep going, man. They really about taking guns away. Why? Because this shit's about to pop off. And they needed to go smoothly, or at least they wanted to, because they know it's not. So they're just trying everything desperately to try to get it to where it could be somewhat not a fuck, like a straight fuck horse and pony show or dog and pony show, because that's what it's going to be like here when there is no more civility. So they're going to keep pumping this fear to where now you're going to have people that are fearful of having their guns taken away. You're going to have people that are fearful of getting shot by a mass shooter in their places of work or recreation throughout the United States, right? So they're going to be in that state of fear. So what are they going to do? They're going to get some more guns. And then you have the government that's in fear of having a society with too many guns. So it sounds like there's a lot of fear being exchanged. And then let's not forget the media, because they're going to pump that news story now. How many shootings have we had, brothers and sisters? Like 3 or 4 just in the past several weeks, maybe more. And when I did my show, a couple of months ago, we was already at 212 mass shootings in the United States already. So now the number's gone up since then. All by design. All by design. All of it. And it's not a coincidence. It's more of that coincidence. And I was thinking about how you're just going to have a lot of people with guns, man. And you got a lot of kids in the hood right now out in Chicago and places like Detroit. What other place has a lot of guns? Oh, man. Houston. Like, you got a lot of young kids now that are carrying guns. And I never forget what a friend of mine said, my friend D, back in the days. He was like, he said these dudes that buy guns, a lot of them, especially when you very inexperienced or when you was young, a lot of dudes out of fear get a gun, but they shoot with their eyes closed, you know? And I never forget that. But they still shoot. And that's what he pretty much said. He said they may shoot with their eyes closed, but they're still shooting. Fear is a hell of a drug, people. And I think it's one of the, what's the word I'm looking for? One of the pillars of the fabric of American society. One of the pillars of American society is fear. And what I mean by pillars, one of the pillars that holds this shit up to what to what people think it is, which is the land of the great brave, the land of freedom, the land of you can have whatever you want, the land of dreams, the American dream. And it's all a fucking nightmare. It's all a big illusion of shit. And that's why people that are waking up spiritually are starting to overcome fear now more than ever. It's a beautiful thing to see too. But there are others that are still struggling with fear. And that's why it's important for them to hear these types of shows so that they can get a better understanding of what they need to do and what's more important to focus on than the fear itself. Because fear is a form of energy that we give life to. It's a high frequency of just filled with adrenaline, you know, that adrenochrome blood. Fear is a hell of a drug. It's one of those things where it's become the norm. And I think it ties into somehow with this whole depression thing, where it's like kids are so afraid to be themselves. So because it's easier to be depressed and more controllable, then they choose that out of fear of being, you know, more and confident and out more, just not even so much if they're an introvert, but just being more confident and self-aware of themselves, regardless if they're an introvert or extrovert. And I'm covering all different aspects of society, but this is what fear is, man. And that's why I wanted to do this episode, because we're in some heavy spiritual warfare, as I always discussed. And I think it's important that to the essence of this spiritual warfare, the biggest weapon that the enemy has against us is fear. And if we can take that weapon away from them and having them the way they weaponize, have us weaponize ourselves really to become fearful of being something more than what we are. Or should I say, wanting to be something more than what we told we are. And sometimes people rather settle for that, which is really the status quo, and actually strive to do something greater, which is to be their true selves, the most high self, to be that which you was meant to be. And that which you are that you have yet to discover. And that ties into that unrealized potential, right? Where the haters come out. Well, haters are haters because of fear as well. But the biggest fear that I believe is one of the most powerful is the one that resonates within the soul, the one that resonates within the spirit, within the mind, and makes that it's actually sitting there the whole time, but you can't see it. You think it's not there, but it's been there the whole time. And it's just been chilling, waiting for its moment to rise. And speaking of rise, why don't we play that song real quick, because I think it's very good to... What I wanted to do this particular episode is play different types of songs that are relevant to the topics of this discussion and presentation on fear. And the best way to overcome fear is through faith and through really high level, just high level energy of positivity and of benevolence. So let's play this song real quick. We'll be right back. This is Rise by Take One.
You know, some days I can be real down on my luck, but today I want to uplift someone.
You are now tuned in to the network of
There's 86,400 seconds all in a day. Wow. Time is too precious to let it all go to waste. Don't let it slip. You gotta use it to your advantage. Life is too short, so don't you take it for granted. Build a fire, get inspired, try to make a difference. Life's a struggle, but things can change in an instant. 1 minute you're full of doubt and hate your life. Next moment your self-esteem don't race to the sky. Kinda funny, but that's life and you can't predict it. All we can do is be a humble soul and stay persistent. Listen, I know you hate living in the same conditions, but the situation's in your hands, you gotta make it different. Become the rose that suddenly rose from the ashes. Keep moving forward till it's boring to even speaking past it. Be the exception, that green apple in the basket. And keep that motivation burning burning with the passion.
Rise, rise, we're gonna rise, rise. We're not gonna stop till we reach the summit, and our spirits ain't ever gonna sink or plummet. Rise, rise, we're gonna rise, rise. We're not gonna stop till we reach the summit, and our spirits ain't ever gonna sink or plummet.
All praise to the King, Yah Elohim. My path was unclear, but he saw better things. A servant for the Father, boy, it's awesome to be. My eyes are open, no longer lost in the weeds. If he did it for me, then he could do it for you. No matter whatever lane you choose to pursue, just know that he'll be with you through the winters, like a brother, like a sister, like a father, mother, uncle, aunt. Yeah, he'll never miss you. It's your turn to make a move and rise, like a missile that's about to launch up in the sky. Don't be afraid, everybody's got a light. You gotta let it shine, let it guide you to be first place at the finish line. In time, things will take a turn for the better. Don't look back and slow down. Keep your foot on the pedal. Give the will to the Lord. He's gonna steer you right to a future so beautiful and it's filled with light.
Rise, rise, we're gonna rise, rise. We're not gonna stop till we reach the summit, and our spirits ain't ever gonna sink or plummet. Rise, rise, we're gonna rise, rise. We're not gonna stop till we reach the summit, and our spirits ain't ever gonna sink or plummet. Hold your head up high, know someday you're gonna rise. Trust the King, he knows what you need. He knows for sure what you're destined to be.
Just gotta
hold your head up high, know someday you're gonna rise. Trust the King, he knows what you need. He knows for sure what you're destined to be. Rise, rise, we're gonna rise, rise. We're not gonna stop till we reach the summit, and our spirits ain't ever gonna sink or plummet. Rise, rise, we're gonna rise, rise. We're not gonna stop till we reach the summit, and our spirits ain't ever gonna sink or plummet.
Wasn't perfect, but at least someone said all praise. Hey, yo.
Very nice from Brother Take One. Shout outs to all the artists that be putting out that fire. And back to the topic at hand. So, brothers and sisters, this is the end to the week of episode 25, season 4, which season 4, the theme of season 4 is unconditional salvation. When it comes to fear, one of the things I think about when it comes to overcoming the fear is that you have to be resilient. You have to be resilient on steroids. You have to really be resilient, because through your resiliency, that's how you endure. Because sometimes when it comes to fear, there are things that are going to go wrong. And you have to be resilient in enduring the things that do go wrong, instead of allowing those things to break you or to make you question yourself. Because once you start going down certain patterns, that fear is going to become super overwhelming. And it's going to start to not only affect you in one aspect of your life, but it's like one of those injuries that spreads, or like a tumor that spreads through the body that's cancerous. It'll affect one aspect of your life, and next thing you know, it's affecting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 aspects of your life. And then you fucking stuck and you can't really do shit because fear fucked you up. Because fear is a hell of a drug. Shout outs to the people that have recently come into the chat room. Something that Brother Mauricio had said, that the corporation of America is also really a serfdom. You always serve it to the death. And I definitely agree, brother. And that's why this show's kind of segueing from yesterday being the signs of demise. Because like I covered in those news segments, is that there's all these things that are happening here. And there's a lot of people that are fearful, but it's that type of fear, like I mentioned earlier, where it's there, but they're pretending, they're acting like it's not there, or sometimes they just don't know it's there. They've found a way to make it dormant, to disconnect from it, or to what they do in the CIA is what they call decompartmentalization. And you can pretty much do that with fear. It's like you put it in a safe place where it doesn't get noticed, but it's there the whole entire time. And all of a sudden, one situation, one moment triggers that. And then you wind up becoming flim-flam, making bad decisions and all that type of stuff. And we have to be aware of this. Fear to me is one of those things where I'm not afraid of a lot of things as much anymore. Now I'm more afraid of living than dying, people. I'm not even afraid of death. But when it comes to living, there's some fear in there. And a lot of us have to overcome those challenges that are brought to us spiritually and really make the most to all, how can I explain this? It really makes the most of everything that you have going on and really just overcome everything that is challenging you in your life, because it has a way of expressing itself in many different aspects of our lives. And next thing you know, like I said before, it just overwhelms us, or we can overwhelm it by never allowing it to stop us from moving forward, is what I wanted to say. I'm getting all long-winded about it because I'm getting tongue-tied in how I want to present this information, because there's so much I want to cram into these 2 hours, right? But still be able to play music. But what I'm basically saying, people, is that be aware. Instead of placing that fear on the side and decompartmentalizing it like a lot of us do, try not to do that. Be very aware of what it is that you're afraid of. Because if you don't, that fear is going to start to dictate a lot of shit in your life. And a lot of times it dictates things in your life that you're pursuing, that you know are great, that are great manifestations, that the Most High is paving the way for you to just walk that walk. And then all of a sudden fear comes in and takes you off course. And I can include the righteous tightrope with that, because that's all this, that's what the demons want. They want you to be afraid. And like I heard a while back, I think I heard it on YouTube, where the guy said that Satan is not powerful, and neither are the demons that serve, because they only have the power when you give it to them. When you give them that energy is when they have the power. Also, when you have no energy to give, meaning that you're weak spiritually, they also have the power there. But when you are self-aware and you walking with the Most High, and you really have the Most High by your side, I'm telling you, man, it's something that you have to constantly be aware of. It's a responsibility, because it can get the best of us. It can make it believe, just like the ego, because the ego, I'm telling you, they're cousins, or they brother and sister, or related. They share the same type of DNA. They just work in different ways. The ego is more of a presence that you have about yourself, that you exert a certain type of energy that most people are not going to like, because you start thinking that you are God. You think you become this God-like figure where you think that you are separate from everybody else. And I never forget what my boy Will, who first presented the righteous tightrope, but I called it the righteous tightrope, but he talked about walking the path, you know, and walking this rope, but I just gave it more flavor. But this was back in, when Will told me this, it was in 2001 or 2000, I believe. But anyway, fear is that thing where when it comes to the ego and fear is the same way, but it works a little differently, because it also can convince you it's not there, just like the ego, but it's showing its ass all the time. Whereas fear is just sitting in the cut, because fear is waiting for the moment for you to get weak. Fear is waiting for you to start tripping up on yourself. And then once that happens, fear's like, I'm here. And then it tries to stay. And then as the longer fear stays, the more you stray away from the Most High. I've been there, people. That's why I can talk about it. I've been there, and I'm going to tell you, looking back on it now, I didn't realize the severity of it all, but I woke up pretty quick to it after a while. But it was a long process. Because even when I decided not to start straying and start walking, it got even harder. And that's why we got to be resilient, people, because it's only going to get harder, especially in the days and times that we're in now. It's important to just be a spiritual person, to just see things from a spiritual perspective. However that may be, as long as you have some type of foundation with that, you're going to be a lot better off than just believing in everything that you were told is real, because none of it is. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, I think that this show has really presented an aspect of fear today, most of all, because there's a lot of different forms of it. And of course, I couldn't cover all of them in one show. But remember, the one that is sitting there right beside you, the one you think that doesn't even exist, the one you think it's not there no more, that you already did away with that, but it's still there. Don't let that creep up on you. Don't let that fear subdue you. And at the end of the day, all praise to the Most High, right? So brothers and sisters, before I go, I'm going to play a song and we'll exit out with Can't Stop Now, right? Because we can't stop now. We're too close. But before we do that, I just want to say thanks to all the brothers and sisters in the chat room. Thanks to my queen, Letta, for coming. Know you're busy today. Shout outs to Brother Taji. Notice you're catching up on the shows. Really appreciate that. Always got to show love to my brother Aksakai from Alpha Talk series and from 101 with Aksakai and on the network of awareness.tv coming soon. So, also Kyle too. Can't forget you, brother. Thank you for coming in. And, I think that's everybody that was in the chat room today. So I appreciate y'all for coming in here. Thanks to all the people that are listening outside the chat room. And one more other thing. When you live in the present, people, there's always an opportunity for a new beginning. And don't look for the light at the end of the tunnel, because the light is and always will be within you. So light up that tunnel and find your way through the darkness. This is already informationless, saying peace, love, and light, and barakatah.
Peace, brother. I don't have a lot of time, Take. They got the dogs on me. You know, they really trying to get me to take this science appliance, brother. And you know I'm not doing that, man.
Oh, where you at?
Not doing it. I'm in an undisclosed location right now, up in the nature spot near that cabin I used to go to. But they got the dogs tracking me, they got the satellites, so they eventually gonna get here. I got it barricaded, you know what I'm saying, because the only way I'm taking that jab is if I'm in a bag, brother. So I just want to tell you this before anything else happens, and I want to get this out to you and let you know. Alright, brother, take. They're at the door. I gotta tell you, just listen, brother, just listen.
Now it's time to get out your own way. Allow Yahweh, today is your day to amaze in many ways. Cause it's just another phase in this infinite space where Yah be giving us grace. I'm working the race with diligent praise, unwavering faith. I'll be damned if I stray from Yah's will and embrace. Man sealed his fate with his ignorant ways. The world is disgraced, vibration has raised at a very fast pace. I'm present today in high frequency waves. No more being enslaved, all praise to Yahweh. A Hebrew warrior from the land of the brave. From the cradle to the grave to my very last day. Send a serpent to his cave, God favored my way. Never fearful or timid, it was written and given. No religion, division can stop a messenger that's fulfilling his mission.
Things will only get worse before they get better. But the storm ain't meant to last forever. Even when the light is dim, the sun finds a way to shine again. Things are getting ugly, things are getting cold, but I know it's best to stay in my zone. And I can't stop now, I can't stop now.
Hey, I can't stop and won't stop, I gotta keep propelling. Final destination is a room in the heavens. Diligence and militance, his will is my medicine. I can live without a half, but his love is my everything. COVID is on the road, got the world on its toes. So many sheep with their eyes closed.
Hey sir, would you like to take the jab?
Man, kiss my ass, stop living by what the news told you. You got injustice, brutality saturating the streets. Blood spilling for no reason, thanks to the police. Meanwhile, syringes are being taken with speed. Can't do it, you ain't sticking no vaccination to me. Despite all the chaos, I still manage to stay on the right path. Gotta keep my focus and my faith strong.
All day long.
Let spiritual music play on. All the honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh.
Things will only get worse before they get better. But the storm ain't meant to last forever. Even when the light is dim, the sun finds a way to shine again. Things are getting ugly, things are getting cold, but I know it's best to stay in my zone. And I can't stop now, I can't stop now.
Can't stop, I won't stop. 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 Can't stop, I won't stop.
All praise